All right, everybody in Zoom land, I've already welcomed everybody in class. Welcome to Docusign It. We're talking about how to do your paperwork inside of Docusign today. We're actually going to start off in Command because the easiest way to get into Docusign is through Command. And when I say easy, that means all your paperwork is going to combine together and be able to pull directly from Docusign easily. So we're going to start off in Command. We're going to make sure that we are connected to Docusign, and then we will go into Docusign itself. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go on Chrome because Google Command works better inside of Chrome. It's optimized for Chrome. agent.kw.com. So I go to agent.kw.com to log into Command. I'm going to log in using my credentials. I'll click sign in. And I am in. Now my next step, I'm going to plug in my video feed so I can't see it. My next step is to go into the settings, which is going to be under the name drop-down box. So if I go into the right-hand corner, it says Demo MC373. It'll say your name instead. I'll click on that, and I'm going to go down to settings. And I'm going to come down here where it says Docusign Connect Account. I'm going to click on that Connect Account. And it's going to ask me if I don't have a Docusign account already, I'm going to click send a registration email. If you do have a Docusign account, it's going to ask you to log in down here. I believe if Scott Leroy has signed up and filled in all of your tech requirements, if they've done that, they have created a Docusign account for you already. So what you would do is click login here. You're going to log in using the email. I'm actually going to log in using my email. I'm going to click login to Docusign. It's going to ask me to log in. It's going to ask me to send an email for verification. I'll click on that. It's going to send me a box to put in the code. Go into gmail.com. Don't worry, it's just a $5 donation to KW Cares. So here's my code. I'm actually just going to copy and paste it. Paste, confirm. So now my Docusign is connected. When I go back into my home screen, now when I log into Command, it's always going to be connected. I don't have to do this again. It's there. So when I go into an opportunity now, and I click Create Opportunity, I'll go through this. Give me 1 second. We're not going to go into deep detail because this is a different class. So I'm inside of a opportunity. This is the opportunity dashboard. I'm going to click on documents. And then I'm going to click pick checklist type. I'll choose residential. So this is an opportunity which is created when you're talking to someone about real estate. Basically, so you are looking to buy or sell, when are you looking to get started? Within the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, great. So I'm going to make an opportunity for that person at that point. Yes, I may have a lot of opportunities sitting in there, but that's okay. You don't have a size limit where you need to be like, oh, I have to delete some of these. You're okay to have them sitting. So I've chosen a residential listing, residential checklist, and now I need to go into Docusign to be able to pull my paperwork because I need listing agreement, seller disclosures, all this fun stuff. So I'm gonna click start a transaction.
Blake, hello, Blake. I just want to confirm. So we don't ever really use these documents that are in command. We go straight from there once we've chosen, a listing or a buyer. We just pretty much from there go to Docusign, right? We don't really use the documents in command.
Right. The
command is just to create the profile.
Yes. Yep. So command, those are just examples inside of there. They can't be used. You have to go into Docusign to use them.
So then what you showed earlier today with that video that you posted on Facebook, is that after a contract's been executed that you can then go in command and then upload whatever documents you need? So that's okay. That's why I just phoned in. I just wanted to double check that.
So
that's just once. Okay, so that'll be once the contract is executed, then you can use command and pull all the information because then you want it submitted to the market center, right?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So Docusign is asking me to log in, which I am doing that. I put my email in. Here it is. Here's the room. So inside of a room, this is where we're going to be adding all of our documents for the transaction that needs to be signed. So this could be my listing agreement. This could be a contract. This could be addendums. This could be anything that needs a signature or we need to create will be done inside of a room. Automatically, it puts us into documents. But if I go over into details first, I can actually start filling in details in here. So they'll autofill into my details inside of the documents. So I clicked on details. I want to come over to edit now. Once I click on edit, it makes all of these boxes editable. So I can go in here, let's see Southern one, I can add more information to me. Company. The address, let's see, I'm going to do 12345 Main Street. Lakewood Ranch, I spelled that wrong. What county are we in?
Manatee.
Yeah, we're in Florida. So the more information I put in here, the easier everything becomes. What's the zip code here? 34322?
34202.
Oh, 34202. Thank you.
Mhm.
Property type, we'll say it is residential, attached. Don't know the year built, no special circumstances. Listing date, so today would be the listing day. Listing expiration date, let's go 6 months. 2. March 8th. We'll say the original listing amount is 1 million. Current, we'll leave, that's awesome, we'll leave that. Because we're doing the listing paperwork right now, we don't have an offer, we're not putting in the offer information. If you were working the buyer side, you would put in this information. So you'd have the offer date of, let's say today I'm making the offer. how much you're willing to offer for, the contract amount, how much earnest money, the contract date, who's holding the earnest money, the binding date of the contract, contingency removal date. Most of these, this we don't have, this we don't have. I don't know about that one. And I don't know about that one. So most of these will be left blank. So you want the offer date, contract amount, earnest money amount, contract date, who's holding the earnest money. You can choose financing type if you'd like to. If you're working with bids, you can put bid numbers in here. Closing details, contract sent to seller date, seller executed contract date. What is an executed contract?
It's signed.
Yep, signed by both parties.
Ask about the bids. So if
Yeah.
you have
Sure.
multiple bids, you can keep adding more bids.
So bids, that
Which is
is
the highest bid that won
the one we're talking about here. This is the highest bid when we have like an auction type scenario. We're not going to come across this often. That's more, we come across multiple offers more so than anything. And multiple offers are not going to be a bid. Let's see. We can put in more information in here if we'd like to. And the same thing about property details. The more information I have on my sellers and myself as the listing agent, my information is already pulled in directly from command. And then I can put in the buyer's information as well. We don't have a buyer because we're just listing right now. But if we're doing an offer on a contract, we would be filling in the buyer information and the seller information because we have the seller's name. So we can put the seller's names in there. Then I'll click save at the bottom. Okay, the room has been updated. And now I can go into the task of bringing documents into the room. So because we're working with a listing, I'm going to click the add button. But first I'm going to look here, what do I need for my requirements? So I'm going to need a listing agreement. I'm going to need a KW seller's disclosure and additional terms. I need the MLS broker synopsis, active status. Seller's property disclosure, residential, signed by both parties. And also required is the wire fraud prevention notice. So these are the items we're going to look for inside of our documents. So I'm going to click the add button now. And I'll go to Docusign Forms.
How do you know if you'll miss one? Is there an error message or something? If you miss a form, you should have.
That's a good question. There is not an error message. It will be kicked back to you by compliance after you submit it, saying you're missing that form.
Is there a checklist to tell you what documents you need?
Yeah, so this is the checklist right here.
So just pick everything. And
Yep,
send it.
so anything that says required right here
Uh-huh.
are the documents you need for sure.
And it knows that based on what you put in your details.
No, this is based on you knowing this list. This list is required.
Okay.
So you know which ones to choose from because it'll say required. You know you need a listing agreement.
So the conditional, you typically would not need, and it's not an issue.
Right, so like a conditional owner waiver of MLS entry, that's if they don't want it in the MLS.
Okay.
Modification to a listing agreement, that's only if there's a change during the process. Seller estimated net sheet, what's the condition for this? It's additional protection for you, so you can build out the net sheet with them. And they can say you're looking about receiving around this price. And then if the seller is an LLC, Inc., or any type of business entity, you'll upload that information here. And it always has the conditions, and the little I right next to the word conditional. Absolutely. Let's see. There's also a printed out checklist on that magnetic board right on the other side of this wall. So I'm going to click on Docusign Forms now. We're doing a listing, so I'm going to look here. Then we have the condominium listing group, rental lease single, and I don't know what that the rest of it is. Residential listing group, residential purchase group, and vacant land listing. These are groups of documents that you may or may not need for this particular item. So let's say we're doing a residential listing. So we would go into the residential listing group to pull our documents from. If we were doing a condo listing, I'd go into the condo listing group. Same thing for vacant land. And then if I'm purchasing, I'm going into the residential purchase group. So I'm going to go into residential listing group. At any time, if you want to see a list of all of the state documents for Florida, you can click on FAR, Florida Association of Realtors. And this is going to list every state document. And it is listed alphabetical. For some reason, there are 15 addendums to contract, even though it is the same form over and over. But it is alphabetical. I'm going to go into my groups because it's already formed into one place where I can find everything. So residential listing group. I know that I need a listing agreement, so I'm going to look for the listing agreement. And it's alphabetical, so I'm going to try and, oh, here we go. We have the exclusive right of sale listing agreement, no brokerage relationship. The exclusive right of sale listing agreement, single agent. Exclusive right of sale listing agreement, transaction broker. And these are the three that we can choose from to choose our listing agreement. And whichever one you choose is going to be based on how you work with your client. Non-relationship, no brokerage agreement, or no brokerage relationship is you don't represent them really. All you're doing is filling out paperwork for them for some sort of fee. Single agent is, these are about the fiduciary responsibilities. I'm not going to go through all the fiduciary responsibilities with you guys, but it's safer to say that you can either be a transaction broker and be just here's the facts. I can't be on both sides. Single agent would be that total responsibility to your client. Yeah, the fiduciary. So we're going to work with the transaction broker one. And then let's see, what else did I need? So this is still up. I'm going to click on command. I'm going to need a KW seller's disclosure and additional terms. I'm going to go back into my group and look for that. Not seeing it in the group.
Wouldn't be a Florida. Would be in the.
Well, right now, the group pulls from all of these libraries. So I'm not seeing it in here. So I need to go into my KW373. And KW373 are individual office forms that we may or may not need based on the conditions or their requirements. So here is the KWRS real property information and agreement. That's for buyers. I need the one for sellers. Where I don't see it in here. Okay.
Ooh, go back.
So here we go, seller's disclosure is the one I want. Okay, so we have the seller's disclosure. Click. Oh, darn it. I didn't add my, oh, there we go. So I added the two I need. I need some more. I need, can't get the broker synopsis. When you have it in the MLS, that's when you're going to bring it in. And you're going to get it signed by your client.
Can you say it again?
So the MLS broker synopsis,
Okay.
you're going to put that into the MLS first and then have it printed up, signed, or electronically signed by your client saying that it is correct.
So does
We
it
won't
go
be-
back into Dotloop? Or is it a separate form just for here?
So it's going to be in Docusign. You're going to go to the MLS.
That's
Yep.
done that.
Yep. You're going to go to the MLS. You're going to print to PDF or download as PDF for that MLS synopsis. You're going to then put it into Docusign and send it electronically to get signed by your client. We're going to go over how to do that. But first, we're still pulling in everything here. So I can't pull that. I need the seller's property disclosure and a wire fraud. Go back into forms.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
The synopsis, is that under the KW 373 or is that?
No, so the synopsis is gonna be
MLS.
the MLS, yep.
Oh, okay.
It's just saying they verify everything there is
Yeah.
actual.
Yep. There is a sheet in here in the Stellar MLS that's called the data entry sheet. And it's 13 pages long. And you're more than welcome to fill that out and then put it into the MLS. But isn't it much easier just to put it in the MLS, have your person verify that this is correct and have it sign it? I think so, because you're cutting down the workload with the same results. So I'm going back into the listing group. I need the seller's disclosure. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo this group. Doesn't have it in there, okay. So it wasn't in the group, so I have to go into Florida Association. Here we go. I'm just typing in seller's PR and then seller's property disclosure pops up. Here it is, residential. That's the one I want. Click on that. Then I also want wire fraud. Wire fraud prevention notice listing. And selected. So now I have the 4 required documents in here. I'm going to go through here now. I'm going to fill out everything that I need to. So I'm going to open up the listing agreement. And I'm not teaching you guys the theory on what should be filled in here. I can only teach you the how to be filled in here. So I double clicked on the document itself to open it. It is already filled in my name as the seller, and the broker will be Keller Williams Realty Select. And that's correct, okay. My listing date would be today, because I put that in the details. I have the address in here. I'm gonna go to the county appraiser or the property information place here in the county to get a description, a legal description of the property. And I'm going to copy and paste it from that website. I'm not gonna type it in by hand because it's easy to miss one letter or number and you're selling the wrong property. People have gotten sued over that. So copy and paste the legal descriptions into the listing agreement. If it is too long, you can click the see attachment.
You get that from the county site.
Yes, yep, you're gonna go to the county site and get that. Mhm. If it's too long, you can click see attachment and then copy and paste it into an attachment for this document. So let's say the personal property, including appliances, I'm going to say stove, fridge, washer, dryer. So on and so forth, maybe a jacuzzi, like we talked about earlier, or a pool table, big things you don't want to move that are just going to go with the property. So I have these in here, and all I did to add them in is I clicked on the box and it became active for me to type in it. So occupancy, is this property occupied or not? It is not currently occupied. It's $1 million. We'll take cash, conventional, VA, FHA. See, you go through here, make sure whatever is applicable. We're going to use a lockbox. here, oh, compensation, this is the most important part. 6. This is all negotiable. And when you're going through, be sure to click these check boxes as well. Don't leave those blank, because that could mean if you leave a blank that you really didn't select it, even if you did put something in here. All right, so I filled out everything I needed to fill in. Click Save and Close. I go to the seller's disclosure. There shouldn't be much. All my information is already filled in there. Good. Close. Go to seller's property disclosure. This is very little for you to do because you can't touch any of it. They have to do it themselves. Yep, the information's in there. Good. Save and close. Same thing for wire product prevention. Okay, save and close. Good, great. Now I need to get them signed. To get them signed, I'm going to put them in an envelope, just like we would send it in the mail. An envelope, once it's sent, there's very little you can do because the mailman has it. So I'm going to select these documents because they all need to be signed. This is one way to do it. I select the documents in the corner. I'm going to come up here, and there's a little button that looks like a pen that says Create Envelope now. I can click Create Envelope. The other way that you can do it is click on Envelopes and then add the room documents. It'll take you to a window that looks like this, but these documents aren't in here. Then you can add them from there. So I'm going to say, let's call this listing docs. If I went through and clicked the Word envelopes, these wouldn't be here, just this room docs, use a template or more. I'll click on room docs and I can choose which documents should be in here. But they're already here, so I don't need to do anything. Then I'm going to click Add Recipient and Pre-tagged Roles. When I add pre-tagged roles, this allows predetermined spots to be filled in for me, so I don't have to drag and drop. Initials, signatures, dates, those are already put in there for me. So first thing, when I click the pre-tagged roles, I'm going to click seller 1. And I'm going to choose who that seller is in the dropdown. So that'll be me, and then listing agent. And it'll be demo. And then that is it. And I'll click add selected. Then I can click, okay. If for any reason these people do not need to sign something, maybe they receive a copy. So if I'm sending an offer to another agent, they would receive a copy of this instead of needing to sign. To change that, let's say this is the other agent, I'd click from needs to sign to needs to view, receives a copy. If I specify recipient, a new box will pop up where I'll fill in that information. And then there's also a spot for witness for signer. This is going to be we'll keep this as needs to sign, but I'm going to switch the listing agent to just needs to view. And the only reason I'm needing to view in the listing agent is just for demonstration purposes. They do need to sign this document, the listing agreement. So just for today, though, it needs to view because I don't have access to this email address. And then down below, I can add in an email with an email subject. These are usually instructions on what to do. I will probably say something along the lines of, these. That's let's all right, so that's my message, just short little instructions. You could be as nice as you want in there. You could say, we're so excited to get this deal done. Or we're so excited to list your home. This is just the beginning of all the wonderful things that we're gonna do for you. Please follow the instructions, whatever you'd like to do. So I'm gonna click the word next up at the top right-hand corner. And in here, I can go through now and I can change the fields. So I can't change the text, but I can add a text box. Let's say maybe I missed something somewhere. I can move a text box over right here, and then I'm going to type in fireplace.
How did you do that? You just selected it.
So yep, I went over here to the text and I drug it over. So I just drag and drop with this stuff. Oops. Okay, so I have fireplace in here. I changed it. I don't want them to change anything now, so I'm going to unselect this as a required field, and I'm going to select it as a read only. So now it's in the agreement itself before the signatures are in there. And I've taken away their ability to change it by selecting read only.
So if they have to change something, they have to tell you.
Right, yeah. If they have to change, if they have something that needs to change, they need to let you know so you can make those changes. But now I have this extra text box. I don't want it here. So I'm going to click on it. And I have an option down here to either save as custom field or delete it. I click delete, it'll get rid of it. So if I was missing signatures down here for some reason, the seller name is there. It's just me here. Let's say I needed to put another initial for someone else. I can put that down here and just drag it over. I drop it. But this is pretty good so far.
Make it look so easy.
Well, I am a certified Docusign trainer, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I'm just going through here, and this acknowledgement is correct. That's correct. Those are good. The signatures there, good. And now, if we look, this is all just for the seller. They get to go through here and say yes, no, I don't know to all of these questions. These are things that need to be filled out. So when they ask, do I have to? Legally, I don't know. But it helps a lot if they do. Technically, it's not required by law for the seller's disclosure, but we want it to cover our liabilities. That's at the time of this recording. I can't guarantee this is going to be for the future. So please check your local laws and everything else before deciding to send this off and saying Blake said it wasn't part of the law. Check it yourself, find out, call the Florida Legal Hotline. That's for Zoomers and everyone here too as well. All right, so they get to fill that out and we're at the wire fraud prevention notice. The signatures are in there, date is in there, perfect. And now I would click send. All right, so it has been sent. It says it needs my signature because we're logged into mine, so I can go ahead and go in here. I click sign. Your clients will receive an email that will look like. Oh, it failed. Oh, that's because. Oh, because this is not an email address anymore. So the demo account email is incorrect. But it will look like, Kyle, do you mind if I use yours as an example? Is that okay?
I'm sorry.
Can we use the one we did earlier together at the 101?
Yeah,
That's an example.
I actually, but I didn't use that one on this one.
Okay,
I just put my wife's name.
That's
on the
perfect.
Email, so she's probably thinking of something.
oh. Well, I'm going to, if I open this up, it'll look like this. It'll say reviewed documents or signed
So you can do a
documents.
dummy document and try it
Yep.
without screwing anything up.
Yep, send it to yourself, send it to the people in your house, so you can say, hey, I'm sending you a document. It's not real.
So do you need me to do anything over here? or-
No, you're good.
Okay.
I just wanted to show
Okay.
that, and then once they click that button, it's gonna come to this. It's gonna say, please review the document. And I'll click continue. It'll have a start button. I'll click that. I'll have an initial. All I do now is click, I'm pretending to be the client. Easy. Oh, yeah. Because my realtor has explained all this to me already. I can go ahead and go through here. And just click. Oh, gosh. That's why I don't use this as a example anymore. Crud. Okay. Bear with me. I usually don't use this as an example, but because it was in the checklist, I decided to use it. Forgetting that. I would be tormenting myself. So I'm just going through and I'm saying don't know to all of these because this is not a real address.
As a seller.
Yes, as the seller. I'm the seller. And if you have land that you're selling usually, a lot of the people who own the land have no idea about anything about it. So when that happens, you can have them just say, just check those I don't knows, because you don't. Or you can draw a line through it saying I don't know on that line and have them sign it. Sometimes you'll get blank ones, and that just really irritates me, especially when it comes to compliance, because that to me that says, did you forget to fill this in? But this forces you to fill it in, because otherwise you can't go forward. And I see other things I have to.
So do we tell them to click I don't know if they don't, but
Yeah, just if I don't know, tell them if they don't know, click I don't know. If they know, click yes. If they don't know, be honest. And it's only if they don't know, because landowners usually don't know if,
there's sinkholes.
if there's sinkholes. Maybe if they've never been to the property, they don't know if gopher tortoises are on there. They don't know if scrub jays are there. These are all things we have to pay attention to with land especially.
So we don't have any requirement to go verify any of this stuff. It's all up to the seller.
Yes, and they need to get a check, what is it called? Not a check, it's
Like a perk test or something.
yeah, it's a process where someone goes out and they check it to environmental study,
Survey?
it's something like that. I can't remember the exact terms. It's in the land contract. When they buy it, it says that the buyer has verified that the land can be used for what their plans are. And they can it's the same thing almost as if we were getting an inspection. It's just the land version of inspections. What was that?
I hear something.
Yeah, it can be. Especially if it's,
Because people think they can build on their property that they bought and they find out they
Yep.
can't. Because of all kinds of stuff.
so definitely recommend doing it. I can't. So I filled in everything in here now and I'll click finish. So now it says waiting for others, which will be, it will forever be waiting for others because this is not a real address. I can click correct, though, because I'm correcting this email address down here. Then I'll click send. It'll work. Good.
Is there anything else you would use the correct button for?
Yes, well, the correction buttons can be used to go into the, if they haven't been signed yet, you can go and correct anything inside the contract. You can draw a red line through, which I'll show you in a second. Let me just look at this real quickly because it should have sent me an email. Come on. There we go. So now both parties. Oh, come on. Just did it. Shouldn't be waiting on this. There we go. So now when both parties have done their actions that they're supposed to do, it'll say completed. And if I go into documents, I'm going to see that I now have copies of the forms with green check marks on them. This means it's been signed. These are the versions that you're going to end up putting inside of command.
What do
So-
you get if they haven't been signed?
It'll still look like this. It won't, you won't have this added form. It'll still just say the form without the green check mark. So that would not be an executed agreement or contract. Now, if I have someone that is giving me a hand-signed copy, I would need to upload it into either command, or if I need a PDF signed, I need to put it into Docusign first. So I'm going to click the add button. And this is like the MLS synopsis, for example. If I add the MLS synopsis, I need it signed, so I'm gonna have it signed electronically. I'll click add. And then I'm gonna click on computer because I saved it as a PDF in my computer someplace. And we'll just say, we'll say this is it. I'll click open and it uploads it in here. So I need it signed, so I'm gonna click the check mark in the corner. I'm gonna create an envelope.
You can't send it with the other stuff you sent before.
You can, I'm just doing it because I didn't have the PDF uploaded at the same time. So I've already gotten that stuff signed. I'm just doing it because it wasn't with the group.
Okay.
So I need to have, this is the document I want, great. Now I need to add the person that needs to sign it. I only have room participants and email addresses. I'm gonna choose email address. And I'll put my name in there. And I'll put instructions again. I'll click next. So we're in the same spot that we were before. This is the field editing area. And right now, this doesn't have any signature boxes in it because it was just a PDF. It wasn't a specialized form. It's nothing like that. And that's why it didn't have the add pre-tagged roles, because it didn't have those roles in there. So it's just a PDF. I need to add signature lines. So I'm going to drag, making sure that this is under my seller. If I had more people involved, they'd be listed here with different colors. And I could choose between them to pull in whatever I needed to on their behalf. So I'm going to leave it on me because I'm the only one in there. I'm going to pull the signature over. And when you're getting the MLS synopsis signed, you can either have the signature at the top or the bottom, wherever you'd like, as long as it's signed approving it, it's all right. So I need the signature here. I'm going to pull in a date as well. And then I would click send to have it signed. That's all you do to get a signature on a PDF. Let's see, we have 15 minutes. All right, so let's say you have a document that you use all the time. So your listing agreement. And every time you list, you have the same things, personal property. It's going to be at 6% possibly, but that's negotiable. Maybe your name will always be the same and the brokerage name will always be the same. So we can create a template to have that stuff in there. And the way we make a template is we go into My Docs. And then I'll click on Form Templates. See, I have 2 templates in here already, so I'm going to create form template. It's going to ask me from where. This is a little bit different on how to pull things. So I can either pull from the library or I can pull from a group. I'm going to choose to pull from a group. It's going to ask me from which group. So I'm going to do residential listing group. And I'm going to find my listing agreements. I'm going to do single agent this time. I'll click use. And it's going to look like we would if we were editing something in just the documents area. So I'm just going to fill in. Here is that. Do that. I will always take cash, conventional, VA, FHA. This is just an example. I'm not saying you have to do this. Let's see, well, I will always use a lockbox, so I'll say that. So I always listed this. I will always use okay, so I just filled in all of the things that I would put in every listing agreement. Now let's say, if I go back into my room, so click rooms. If I click add Docusign forms, residential listing group. Single agent. So when I select it, it has a drop-down box now, and it's asking me which form version do I want to use. And I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click my template that I made. And I'll click add selected. When it pulls up, it's going to have everything that I've already pre-typed in here from the template. It's the lockbox 6.333 1.5 Kelowna's Realty Select. So that just saved me a lot of time because I know every list agreement I'm going to put this, every buyer's offer I'm going to put this, so I can create templates for every one of those documents. And then you can use that to get signed. All right. Any questions?
Well, when I use it.
And I expect that when you start using it fully, definitely go in there and play with it. Create fake opportunities and start a room that has the word test in front of it. So we always know that this is a test. It's not the big cheese of the real deal.
You could create your templates, right?
Yep, you can create templates inside. Yeah, you can create templates, no problem. Create as many as you would like. That might actually be a good idea if, that might be a good class. That might be a good class for everyone to like come to, and then Susie or someone could be like, okay, we're gonna make a template for this. And we can all make templates together. I'll have to mention that to her. All right, if we don't have any other questions.
Thanks, Blake. I gotta go. I'll
All
catch
right,
you in the
thanks
office.
for coming,
Have a good
Helen.
one.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can email me, text, cut. Yeah.
I actually, I understand this is a DocuSign class, but, so you take a listing and you do all these forms, you know, you agree on the listing now. It's when you download every Stella, are you going through now, you gotta sign it to Stella and now upload everything in there as well, right?
So you're actually going to be uploading it to Command.
Oh,
Yeah, so you won't go to Stellar for your compliance. You're going to go into Command for it.
okay,
And that's going to be a different class.
okay,
In Tech 102, we'll go over that.
okay,
That's part of the 3 things you must do inside of Command.
okay.
That'll be on not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. That's the 3 things you must do in Tech 102.
Are you still on Zoom or whatever?
Yeah, it's still zooming and it's still recording. Do we want to? All right. Thanks for joining us, Leslie. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you.